Making comics for the last 7 years has allotted me my fair share of exciting opportunities that would have sent Kid Nondor stratospheric with glee. I've both interacted and even worked with some of my favorite writers and artists within the comic book industry, including the likes of Jim Rugg, Tony Harris, Marco Rudy, Tom Riley, Nick Batara, and others. It's complete bonkers. What a wild realization that what began as my own undying fandom and passion for comic books has led me to rubbing shoulders with respected professionals. The more of these relationships and connections I build, the more my confidence grows as a writer. Any whiff of imposter syndrome perishes when I see my name listed alongside seasoned talent in the credits pages of my own books, solidifying my belief that I have what it takes, that this has all been worth it, that I'm really a writer and I'm worthy enough to work with big names in the industry, names of whose work I've admired for years. Granted, it might just be another paycheck for them, but for me, it means everything, and my pockets are not as deep as Marvel or DC's pockets, let me tell you. These pros don't need my money, and my small indie books don't offer much publicity or prestige, but I do know they offer quality stories, and these artists could easily pass on my chump change for a better paying gig at the drop of a dime if they wanted. Yet they don't. They want to be a part of my little projects, and I'm deeply honored. Here we are today in 2024, and I have a major announcement. This is a secret I've been holding and keeping to myself for months. My favorite comic book artist of all time, an absolute icon, has joined me in the foxhole. With that in mind, how do I feel about working with my favorite comic book artist of all time, a verified comic book legend? And when I say this, it's not for dramatic effect. This is the real deal. This is it. We've arrived, brothers and sisters of nerddom. This is a moment I've honestly fantasized about since I started collecting comics at 10 years old and making comics at the age of 19. This is the artist whose art got me into comics. This is the artist whose work I'd copy over and over again in my sketchbooks and stare at for an unhealthy amount of time. This is the artist who co-created the Winter Soldier and killed Captain America with his partner in crime, Ed Brubaker. The artist who snuffed out the flame of the Human Torch with Jonathan Hickman in the pages of Fantastic Four, only to bring him back in what became my favorite FF run ever. This same artist then went on to destroy multiverses with writer Jonathan Hickman and the Illuminati in their new Avengers run shortly thereafter, in what ended up as my favorite Avengers storyline of all time. This artist is a superstar whose work spans decades in the industry, from Marvel to DC, from CrossGen to Image Comics, TKO Studios, and most recently, AWA. This artist is the legendary Steve Epting. The next issue in my series Manchild is the biggest one yet. We're introducing 6 new villains in Manchild issue 3, expanding upon the Monarch Crier's rogues gallery and pitting our winged hero against all 6 of his mighty foes at once. Readers have met Professor Pilgrim in the pages of Manchild, but they haven't met the sadistic 6. Summit, the Crane, Ivory Horn, Highness Helen, Bitter Pill, or Postman. Soon enough, you will, and I guarantee you will not forget them. With such an exciting new chapter in the series ahead, I needed a superhero comics veteran to lend their expertise to this book. So I dreamt big and I took a leap of faith, reaching out to Steve Epting in a message that I must have edited a dozen times. I've wanted to work with Steve for years, but I was a nobody comic book writer with no credits in the biz and no chance, right? I was kidding myself. He would never agree to this. He would never. Then the reply email came. Steve Epting had said yes. He wanted to do a cover for Manchild issue 3, and you know what's even crazier? He wanted to do it because he liked the book. And me? I was slapping myself in the face to wake up from this dream. But the dream, it was real. This was happening, and even though I'm talking about it now, I still can't believe it. It's an emotional experience for me, being able to collaborate with him, writing about it even right now. However cringe that may sound, but I don't care. Put yourself in my shoes for a minute and imagine working with one of your comic book idols. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that may never come again. This is what I live for. This is comics, and a dream was no longer a dream, but it was reality. How appropriate for a book like Manchild, wouldn't you say? A book dealing with that very subject. Before I reveal the marvelous cover, I want to take a moment to personally thank Steve Epting from the bottom of my heart. He did not have to do this. Like I said, I'm a nobody comic book writer with no status, but that's the thing about the comic book industry that I found so surprising. It's not about who you are, but what you and your voice and your stories and your art have to offer the world. And Steve Epting and I, hold on, I gotta pinch myself. This is what we offer to you when the Kickstarter campaign for Man-Child Issue 3 launches in just a few weeks. The pre-launch page is live right now, so please sign up today so you don't miss your chance to add this book to your collection. All right, cue the music. See you on the other side. What can I say? The legendary Steve Epting delivers. The intensity of Professor Pilgrim's eyes in the background, the Monarch Crier elegantly leaping towards us as the sadistic six in silhouette surround him, and the contrast between the varying textures and hues of green, orange, and white creates a superhero piece for the ages of astounding finesse. Wouldn't you agree? I've been keeping this bottled up inside for so long, so it feels so good to let the cat out of the bag, and I could literally die happy tomorrow. But let's hope that doesn't happen because I have a campaign to run and more comics to create. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Bye for now.